A court in Los Angeles has sentenced Harvey Weinstein to 16 more years in prison.
It was definitely a murder, and the right outcome happened.
Celebrities live in the spotlight, but some of them crossed the line so badly, they ended up behind bars. And today, we are breaking down the most notorious celebrity criminals that shocked the world. Starting with a music legend who went from hit records to maximum security. Phil Spector was a genius in the music industry. This dude literally created the wall of sound technique and produced hits for the Beatles, the Righteous Brothers, and basically shaped rock and roll history. But in 2003, everything changed when actress Lana Clarkson was found dead in his mansion with a gunshot wound to her head. Phil claimed it was an accident and self-inflicted, but the evidence told a different story. Witnesses said he had a history of pulling guns on women, and his chauffeur testified that Phil came out that night saying, "I think I ended somebody's life." After a mistrial and a second trial, Phil was convicted of taking someone's life in 2009 and sentenced to 19 years to life.
The jury in the above entitled action find the defendant, Philip Spector, guilty of the crime of second-degree murder of Lana Clarkson in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony, as charged in count 1 of the indictment.
Again, thank you for your service. You are now excused, but I want all the jurors and alternates to go back into the jury room. We will have the jury commissioner and the public information officer meet with you.
The legendary producer passed away in prison in 2021, from creating music history to becoming it for all the wrong reasons. But Phil's not the only celebrity who went from the top to rock bottom. 'Cause Martha Stewart, America's favorite lifestyle guru, became a convicted felon over some shady stock trades. In 2001, Martha sold nearly 4,000 shares of Clone Systems stock right before it crashed, making her avoid a loss of about $45,000. Sounds smart, right? Wrong. 'Cause she got insider information from her broker that the FEFTA was about to reject the company's new drug. That's textbook insider trading. But instead of just coming clean, Martha lied to federal investigators about it, which made everything worse. In 2004, she was convicted of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and lying to investigators. The punishment? 5 months in federal prison, 5 months of house arrest, and 2 years of probation.
Today is a shameful day. It's shameful for me and for my family.
And here's the crazy part: if she just paid the fine for insider trading, she probably would have avoided prison time altogether. But lying to the feds? That's what really got her locked up. Though I gotta give her credit, she bounced back hard after release and rebuilt her empire. Now let's talk about Harvey Weinstein, 'cause this dude's case literally sparked a global movement. For decades, Harvey was one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, producing Oscar-winning films and making or breaking careers with a single phone call. But behind the scenes, Harvey was running a decades-long pattern of serious criminal behavior and assault. In 2017, the New York Times and the New Yorker published investigations revealing that over 80 women, including major actresses, accused him of harassment, assault, and serious criminal offenses going back to the 1970s. The allegations were so disturbing that it launched the Me Too movement worldwide.
I just want to say we've heard every rape myth practically in the book today. What were you wearing? Why did you go to a hotel room? It's all victim blaming, victim shaming.
In 2020, Harvey was convicted in New York of criminal assault and serious offenses and was sentenced to 23 years in prison. Then, in 2022, he got hit with another 16 years in Los Angeles for additional charges. This man went from Hollywood royalty to spending the rest of his life behind bars, and his downfall changed the entire entertainment industry forever. But Harvey's not the only one whose crimes shocked the world. R. Kelly, the king of R&B, went from making hits like I Believe I Can Fly to facing some of the most disturbing criminal charges in music history. For years, rumors swirled about Kelly's inappropriate relationships with underage girls, but in 2019, the documentary Surviving R. Kelly brought dozens of accusers forward with horrifying stories. These women detailed decades of serious abuse, manipulation, and Kelly essentially running a criminal enterprise where he trafficked young women and girls. In 2021, after a 6-week trial in New York, R. Kelly was convicted on all 9 counts, including racketeering and trafficking. The evidence was overwhelming video footage, witness testimony, and a pattern of predatory behavior spanning 30 years. he got sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. Then, in 2023, he got another 20 years for child exploitation charges in Chicago. The man who once sold millions of records is now looking at spending the rest of his life in prison. Speaking of shocking falls from grace, Bill Cosby went from America's dad to convicted criminal in one of the most stunning reversals in entertainment history. For decades, Cosby was untouchable, starring in The Cosby Show, doing Jell-O commercials, and being seen as a wholesome family man. But in 2014, comedian Hannibal Buress called out Cosby's history of serious assault allegations during a stand-up routine, and it went viral.
I have to ask about your name coming up in the news recently regarding this comedian.
No, we don't answer that.
Okay. I just wanted to ask if you wanted to respond at all about whether any of that was true.
There's no response.
Can I ask you, if with the persona that people know about Bill Cosby, should they believe anything differently about what?
There is no comment.
Suddenly, over 60 women came forward with similar stories of being drugged and assaulted by Cosby, with some cases going back to the 1960s. In 2018, Cosby was convicted of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault against Andrea Constand and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. But here's where it gets complicated. In 2021, Pennsylvania's Supreme Court overturned his conviction on a legal technicality, and he got released after serving less than 3 years. The overturn wasn't about innocence though, it was about a previous prosecutor's promise. Regardless, his reputation and legacy are forever destroyed. But not all celebrity crimes are violent. The 2019 college admissions scandal showed us that rich and famous people will do anything to get their kids into elite schools, even if it means breaking the law. Actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin got caught up in Operation Varsity Blues, where wealthy parents paid millions in bribes to get their kids into top universities. Felicity paid $15,000 to have someone secretly correct her daughter's sad answers.
Lori, are you going to fight these charges, Lori?
2 actresses facing real-life drama in a cheating scandal made for Hollywood. Felicity Huffman arriving at Boston's federal court, unusually camera shy.
Did your kids know?
Lori Loughlin appearing more relaxed.
Lori and her husband paid $500,000 to have their daughters falsely designated as rowing recruits for USC, even though they never rowed competitively. Felicity pled guilty early, showing genuine remorse, and got 14 days in prison, a $30,000 fine, and community service. But Lori and her husband fought the charges initially, which backfired big time. They eventually pleaded guilty, and Lori got 2 months in prison while her husband got 5 months. Both paid heavy fines and did community service. The whole scandal exposed how the wealthy game the system and sparked a national conversation about privilege and inequality in education. Now let's talk about Suge Knight, cause this dude went from running one of hip-hop's most legendary labels to a serious criminal conviction. Suge Knight co-founded Death Row Records and helped launch the careers of Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac Shakur. But Suge was always known for being violent and intimidating, with multiple assault charges over the years.
Overnight, music mogul Suge Knight turning himself in to Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies.
What up, Suge? How you doing, man?
Knight behind the wheel of a hit and run in Compton, California that left 1 man dead and another man injured. The incident now being investigated as a homicide.
I seen Suge Knight turn around and go to his car, and he ran him over twice.
Knight allegedly hitting the 2 men with his red pickup truck, then backing over them before leaving.
People we talked to said it looked like it was an intentional act.
Knight's attorney confirming the mogul was behind the wheel of the truck, but saying it was an accident, that Knight was attacked by 2 other people and trying to escape when he mowed down the victims.
In 2015, during a confrontation on the set of the Straight Outta Compton film in Compton, California, Suge got into an argument and then drove his truck over 2 men, causing Terry Carter's death and injuring Colbone Sloan. Suge claimed self-defense, saying he was scared and trying to escape, but the prosecutors said he intentionally hit them. In 2018, Suge pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 28 years in prison. At 59 years old when sentenced, this likely means he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars. From running Death Row Records to being an inmate himself, that's a hell of a fall. And that's the dark side of fame, where celebrity status couldn't save these people from facing justice for their crimes. Some showed remorse, others fought until the end, but they all learned that nobody's above the law. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.